Okay. Hello, I'm Tyler. And in this video, I'm going to teach you how to mix some vocals with just stock plugins. So I'm using Logic, but you can do the same things in whatever DAW you have with whatever stock plugins that DAW comes with. Also, I'm going to provide the timestamps for each section of the video in the description below. So yeah, cool, let's get started. Okay, so first off, there's a couple things you need to do before entering the mixing stage. Your vocals need to be recorded really well, and your vocalist needs to give a really good performance. Your source tones should sound amazing. If your source tones do not sound good, you cannot fix it in a mix. And just always keep that in mind before you mix anything. All right, that being said, let's move on into the mixing. So we're going to start with clean vocals. Here I have 5 vocal tracks, but in this section only 2 layers of each vocal line are going to be played. And what I did with all 5 of these vocal tracks is I created a track stack. And this is going to act as our clean vocal bus. And to do that, you can just select all 5 tracks, right click, and then create track stack. And make sure you create a summing stack now, not a folder. Before we mix, let's just solo out the vocals and just listen to how good they're recorded.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still.
As you can hear, the vocalist has really good timbre and he's singing pretty in tune. And a lot of that is probably refined a lot better in the editing stage. And I just want to give a shout out to Jordan Valerio. These are his stems, and I got them from his control room course. So thank you, Jordan. You're awesome. All right, first, we're just going to apply an EQ. So we're going to high pass all the way up to about 150 hertz, just to leave room for the bass tracks. And then I want to take out about 300 hertz. I want you guys to listen to this boosted and just listen to how shitty this sounds.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still.
You hear that? It sounds like you're fucking singing in a toilet bowl. So we're just going to cut out all of that 300 hertz crap. Then we're going to low pass up to about 18 hertz or so. This way we can just get rid of the high, hissy, annoying frequencies. Now I'm going to try and find 2 really nice and airy frequencies that'll help the vocals kind of stand out. So what we're going to do is we're just going to boost the band like this and thin it out. And we're just going to sweep around until we find something that sounds airy.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the rise up.
All right, so about 9K sounds really good, really nice and airy. So we're just going to bring that down. So we only boost about 1.5 to 2 dB, just like that. Then we're going to do it one more time. Find a similar airy frequency, but a little bit lower than our first one.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the rise on. You're dead set to change the world by standing still.
All right, so for 4800 hertz, 5K, around there, that sounds really nice and airy. So we made kind of a pair of titties with our airy frequencies. So let's just listen to the vocals soloed with and without the EQ applied.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the horizon.
See how much this EQ really makes a difference? It really helps the vocals kind of lift up and sound really nice. All right, next we're going to apply some compression. And compression is very, very important. So I'm using, Logic stock compressor, and I'm going to use the Studio FET model because this model is just really good for metal, to my ear at least. So first we're going to set about a 4:1 ratio or 5:1 ratio because we're going to want to compress the vocals a lot. So a higher ratio will definitely help with that. So now we're just going to solo out this vocal track, and we're going to move the threshold down to where it's taking out about 10 to 20 decibels of gain. That's because when the vocalist sings at the really loud parts, this compressor will help kind of even all the levels out. So let's do that.
No matter the meaning, no matter the reason, you're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the reason.
So as you can see, the compressor is doing a lot of work, and you can actually hear it compressing, like especially in the part where he's singing the standing still. So, oh, that was really bad. So as you saw on this meter on the left, the vocals were kind of clipping a little bit. So we're just going to turn off the auto gain.
No matter the meaning, no matter the reason.
So see, that already helped a lot, but it made the vocals a little bit too soft. So we're going to actually turn it up with the makeup gain here. We're just going to turn it up to where it hits about 3 to 6 decibels.
By standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the reason, you're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the reason, you're dead set to change the world by standing still.
Okay, it's overshooting a little bit, but that's fine. We're always going to compress it somewhere later in the bus. So now we're going to move on to the attack and release. So the attack measures how fast the vocals are going to get compressed, and the release is how fast the vocals are going to stay compressed. So for vocals, we want a really fast attack, just so the levels sound a lot more even. So we're going to set, well, this should be a good setting here. The attack should be a little bit low, around 9 o'clock or so. And then the release, this is a pretty good number too. For the attack and release, it's always good to use your ear and watch your levels and see what settings work for you. So right now, I'm just going to demonstrate that, and I'm going to play around with the attack and release until I find a sound that I like.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the reason, you're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the reason, you're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the reason.
So I'm just going to keep it at that. Now we're going to set the distortion to hard, just because a little bit of distortion in the vocals really helps bring out the overtones. Let's take a listen to the compressor off and back on, just so you can hear the difference.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the reason.
You hear how it gives a little bit of volume boost, but still keeps the levels really, really nice and even. All right, lastly, we're just going to add in a de-esser to take out all of the annoying S's. So you can just sweep around the frequencies to see where the S sounds kind of stick out.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the reason.
So it sounds like this guy's S's are really coming out around 7K or so. So we're going to turn the strength down enough to where the S's are a little held back in volume, but not too much, because the vocalist is going to sound like he has a fucking lisp. So let's just play around with the strength here.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. No matter the meaning, no matter the reason.
There we go. And that's it for the individual tracks. So you can just copy paste whatever you did onto all the other vocal layer tracks, which I've already done. So let's just take a listen to how the vocals sound now.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. You're having a no matter the meaning, no matter the reason.
Cool. Now we can move on to the vocal bus, which is that track stack thing we created earlier. Well, the first plugin you're going to want to load up is the compressor. So what we're doing here is we're evening out all the vocal layers when the multiple layers hit. So to do that, I just set a 4:1 ratio. It's a little bit lower than our individual tracks because, again, we're only compressing the vocal layers when they all come in. And then we're just going to adjust the threshold to where it only takes out maximum 5 dB. So I'm going to leave it on repeat on these first couple layers here. So yeah, let's just do that real quick.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. You're dead set to change the world by standing still. You're dead set to change the world by standing still.
So from here, you can adjust the attack and release according to your ears and turn up the makeup gain using your ears, see what level fits best for you. And then here we're going to turn the limiter on just because of the multiple layers again. And when those layers hit, we don't want the volume levels to peak up too high. So the limiter will kind of keep it nice and evener. So let's just play around with this knob until we see this red light come on and do its thing. Once you see it on, stop, because you don't want to limit it too much. Then you're going to kind of kill the vibe. So let's do that real quick.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. You're dead set to change the world by standing still.
All right, that's good. But you can see how the limiter works when the B's and the D's kind of come in. That's because those vowels really pop out and it can really create a spike in volume. And again, we're going to set the distortion to hard one more time because distortion makes things really nice. All right, cool. Next thing we're going to do is have another instance of De-Esser. Here I have it preloaded, so I saved the frequency to about 7K again, and the strength is a little lower this time. And what we're doing here is we're just taking out the S's of the multiple layers. Okay, so next we're going to apply reverb and delay, but we're not going to apply it on the main vocal bus. We're actually going to send it to a parallel bus. So you can create a new send here, bus, and then choose any bus. But I've already done that, so send it to Vox SC. So this is the parallel bus. So my first plugin here is a reverb. I turned the dry signal all the way down and the wet signal all the way up. Just because this is strictly a ambient channel, so you don't really need the dry signal in there. And it's really hard to give you specific parameters for reverb. For me, I just use my ears, but I keep in mind what I want. So in this case, I wanted something that sounded really big and roomy because, you know, I want to widen the vocals up. So let's just take a listen to the vocals with the reverb on and bypassed.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. You're dead set to change the world by standing still.
See how much wider it sounds? Next, I have an instance of tape delay. And I have the dry and wet kind of at the same levels. Because if you do too much delay, it kind of sounds a little bit too washy. So I like to keep the dry reverb signal in there. And again, just like the reverb, it's hard to give you exact parameters. So just use your ears and play around with the settings and see what works for you. In this case, I want the delay to just kind of add extra ambiance to the reverb. So let's just listen to the delay on and off.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. You're dead set to change the world by standing still. You're dead change the world.
So because this is a stereo track and it's filling the entire spectrum from the middle all the way out to the sides, I have an EQ on, but I set the EQ mode to mid only. And what this is doing is it's only taking out the high mid frequencies in the middle of the stereo spectrum. And this does two things. One, it gives room for the guitars and bass and all the other mid frequency instruments and stuff, because metal is a really mid heavy song, and the reverb and delay from the vocals can really wash everything out. Second, it pushes out the reverb and delay ambiance to the sides, so it literally does sound a little bit wider. So let's just take a listen to this on and off. You might need headphones for this because the difference is very, very subtle.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. You're dead set to change the world by standing still. You're dead.
And yeah, there you go. That's it. That's all I really do to mix vocals. And I literally copied and pasted everything I did from the clean vocals onto the scream vocals. It sounds just as good. And I even sent the scream vocals to the same ambiance track. The only different thing I added to the individual tracks is a distortion. Distortion on screams sounds fucking amazing. It just makes the scream sound that much ballsier. Ballsier, whatever. So I have the distortion 2 plugin on the nasty mode, because you want to make that shit sound nasty. But again, like the reverb and delay, you just want to use your own ears and see what sounds good for you. I don't really like, or in this song at least, I don't like the vocals to be too distorted, so I turned the drive down and kept it a little subtle. So let's just take a listen to everything. So yeah, that's really it. That's all you really need to mix vocals with the stock Logic plugins, at least. So let's just take a listen to our end result and see how that sounds with the rest of the mix.
You're dead set to change the world by standing still. The ribbon is back on. You're having a fight. Meaning, no matter the rise on, you take to fly. Can't you say your name? Something beyond controlling your soul.
Alright everyone, thank you for watching. If you guys want to see more mixing tutorials like this, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and ring that bell. Lastly, I am open to take some mixing clients, so if you want me to mix your stuff, just head to my website, threcordings.com, and fill out my quote request form. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again.